Hello, everyone. Today I will present the role of education in driving social change. I will explain how education shapes values, social mobility, empowerment, and modernization. This topic matters because education is not only about academic learning, but also about how societies grow and transforms over time. Background: education is one of the strongest forces that influence social transformation across generations. It does more than transfer knowledge. It also transmits cultural values and it can encourage social mobility, critical awareness, and social reform. However, the impact of education is still debated because education can also reproduce inequality when access and quality are not equal. In this presentation, I use four main theories to understand the relationship between education and social change. First, Durkheim's functionalism explained education as a way to build social cohesion and moral order. Second, Becker human capital theory seen education as an investment that increases productivity and mobility. Third, Freire critical pedagogy focus on building critical consciousness and empowerment. And lastly, Marx and Engels. Conflict theory highlights how education can reproduce class hierarchies. The aim of this paper is to examine how education influences social change through these major theories: functionalism, human capital, critical pedagogy, and conflict theory. The paper argues that education can both maintain social stability and support transformation. At the same time, it recognizes barriers such as unequal access and inequality that can limit education's positive impact. From Durkheim functionalist perspective, school play play an important role in socializing individuals into shared norms and collective values. Education helps maintain social order by teaching discipline, cooperation, and civic responsibility. Through this process, education strengthens social solidarity and helps society that stays connected across generations. Human capital theory views education as an economic investment. Education improves skills and competencies, which increase employability and income potential. In this view, education supports modernization and national development by strengthening productivity and economic growth. However, focusing only on economic outcomes may overlook education's broader role in liberation and empowerment. Freire described education as a practice of freedom. Instead of seeing students as a passive receiver in the banking model, he promotes dialogue-based learning that develops critical awareness. This approach empowers learners to recognize inequality, resist oppressions, and take collective actions for social justice within their communities. Now, according to conflict theory, educational systems can be part of capitalist structures that reproduce class hierarchies. Schools may legitimize inequality through meritocratic narratives that hide systemic privilege. But education can also become a place of resistance, where critical consciousness grows and challenges dominant power relations. To connect these ideas, the paper summarized four mechanisms showing how educations drive social change. First is normative socializations, which supports cohesion and civic ethics. Second is human capital formation, which support mobility and economic inclusion. Third is critical consciousness and empowerment, which leads to collective action and reform. And fourth is modernization of values and practice, which encourage innovations and institutional development. These pathways are not automatic. Their strength depends on context, especially equality of access and quality, curriculum relevance, teacher capacity and pedagogy, governance and finance, and the digital divide. When access and quality are unequal, education is more likely to reproduce social stratification. But when education is inclusive and critically oriented, it is more likely to create progressive social change. The literature reviews shows that education influences society through moral, economics, political, and cultural pathways. Evidence suggests education can support civic participation, critical awareness, and innovation. These outcomes are important for democratic engagement and societal development, and they strongly connect with Rare empowerment lens and Becker emphasis on mobility productivity. To conclude, education plays a pivotal role in shaping social change through moral, cultural, economic, and political functions. Education can both stabilize and transform society. When education is inclusive, equitable, and well supported, it builds cohesion, mobility, critical awareness, and civic engagement. But when education is stratified, it can also reinforce existing hierarchies. So, the main message is that education impact depends on how fair, accessible, and well managed the system is. Thank you for your attention.